What is up, friends? We're back out here for another summer photo shoot episode number 2. I'm out here in Coon Valley right now, just parked off the side of the road next to this. This is like a DNR easement for public fishing access. There's a nice trout stream down there, so I've never actually been to this specific spot, but we got a little bridge back there too, so can kind of just go walk down here. Bunch of farm property back there and stuff, but yeah, we'll just check it out down here and look for probably some shots down by the creek, so it should be pretty good. Oh, and I forgot to mention, yeah, today is Saturday, June 13th. Beautiful day out today. It's about 4 in the afternoon. Sunset is at close to 9, so we got quite a bit of time here into the evening. Couple shots just taking in the whole landscape right here, guys. Got the kind of meandering creek there. It is a bit cloudy over here where the sun is, but still got decent light right now. So I've always wanted to check out these like DNR easements off this creek, but just never checked them out before. It's literally, these are like right up against farm properties. And check out this bridge, dude. This is crazy. Beautiful scenery right here. That's a shot. I'm gonna take that right now. Beautiful. Beautiful scene here, guys. Just gorgeous. Got some vertical shots in here, kind of lining it up right with the creek. Gorgeous. I want to come back to that angle maybe a little bit more in the evening. The sun is setting a bit more. That's a cool shot of the farm too. Definitely gonna pick that off. Yeah, the landscape back here is just insane. Yeah, I'm gonna get some shots of this farm. Wow. That's a shot in itself. See the farm through there too, guys. These trees are gorgeous right here, giving some shade. I think this is a huge cottonwood. Just gorgeous back here, man. I'm definitely gonna get a shot of this. You guys can see the trail kind of right there. That is beautiful. And then I want to try and pick something out through the brush here, kind of looking at the farm. Got a nice vertical shot here, kind of down on this slope a little bit. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to get some of this canopy here, kind of just making a frame there. Turned out pretty good. Got nice light. But so far, man, I mean, these shots have just been absolutely gorgeous. Just look at that, dude. Crazy. So I'm gonna keep going here. We're like right up against the farm now. Don't want to get too close. Some vertical shots right here, guys. Nice curve in the creek. I'm gonna go up here just a little bit more. Not too much farther. And then probably just gonna wait for the sun to set a bit more, so we can get some kind of evening shots. Holy crap. Watch my step. Yeah, sun is right there. So we're just gonna post up and wait a little bit. Alright guys, it is just past 6 o'clock and I'm just gonna mosey back kind of the way we came here. The sun looks really good right now. Probably got a little over an hour till it goes past the bluffs there. So, I mean, so far guys, I've gotten a lot of good shots, I think. Well, I know. So I'm pretty happy with how this has gone already. If I could just get, you know, handful of evening shots with a little bit softer light, that'd be perfect. So it's kind of what I'm hoping for. Came back down to this this cut we were at before. The sun is behind some clouds right now, but it's playing some games right now. The sun is it's looking really good because these clouds, it's kind of coming in and out of these clouds and creating some shadows against the landscape, which is adding some contrast in these scenes. A lot nicer than before with just kind of like all the harsh sunlight coming down. So that looked really, really pretty. Alright guys, I am heading back to the truck here. I'm not gonna sit here in this spot until sunset. The sun is, well, you guys can see the shadow there of the sun kind of closing in. But I did get a couple pictures of some fishermen as I was crossing this bridge. So that was pretty cool. It was very quick. I didn't have a lot of time because I didn't want to disturb them. But I did get some shots of some fishermen, so that's pretty awesome. That's pretty cool. But I'm gonna look at this one last cut over here, see if there's anything, and then we might be wrapping it up. It's been kind of a long episode, probably already, but I want to go look at one other easement, see if there's anybody there. If there's not, I might just go check it out for sunset. It's literally just up the road, so it's not very far. But look, check this out. That's the scene we started at. I don't think there's anything there though. So we'll just call it a wrap on this spot here, guys. Definitely want to come back here. Maybe for a different time or, you know, different weather. But this has been just dope. This has been awesome. So I'm gonna get in the truck here. We're gonna check out maybe one other spot and then call it a day. at the next spot here, guys, and looks like we got some cows. Some cows. I'm gonna try and go get some pics of them up there. Maybe. We'll see. All right, guys, well, down here, this other spot, and the sun, it's pretty much gone now. Past the bluff, getting cloudy a little bit. So, yeah, I'm just hanging out down here with the cows now. So, probably just gonna chill down here for a little bit. I don't think I'm gonna grab any pics. I don't want to get too close up on them, freak them out. So we're just gonna hang out for a little bit, and then we'll hop back in the truck and just wrap it up. Okay, friends, we are gonna wrap it up here. It is just past 7. Check, yeah, 7:05. So, man, this landscape out here is just beautiful, dude. Just crazy beautiful. I'll tell you what, I feel very blessed to be able to live in an area like this, for sure. But really good photo shoot today, guys. Saturday, June 13th. So, yeah, I was kind of hoping for a little bit more like sunset, evening shots. I kind of figured this would happen, because the bluffs out here are just, you know, they're big, so, and everything's kind of tight in between these bluffs. It's literally a valley, so that's why it's called Coon Valley. But yeah, I didn't really get any kind of, you know, sunset evening shots. I mean, it's just, we had some clouds roll in here and sun went behind the bluff, so it is what it is, man. But overall, I am very satisfied with how this photo shoot went today. I was just thinking, like, I was a little bit anxious before even starting this. I was like kind of questioning, because like I had never really checked out one of those easements before where you can kind of just walk in, that are kind of dedicated for fishing. I obviously knew they were around here, but first time kind of checking those out, I was a little bit anxious going down in there, because like you're technically just kind of walking through a farmer's property, but it is what it is, man. I'm really happy I kind of went through with it today. And yeah, that spot we checked out, both these spots they're basically brand new to me. Like I had said, we did some photo shoots pretty much around this area, but just never went to those specific spots. And man, they really turned out good. That creek down there and the farm landscapes, all that stuff was just absolutely gorgeous, dude. It's just so beautiful. And yeah, just get the whole kind of bluff landscape in the background of all those shots. And yeah, it was just gorgeous, dude. So I'm really stoked to take a look at these. I also took some some vertical video to maybe put together for maybe a reel or something like that, like a short vertical video. So that should be cool. But yeah, this is the second time coming out this summer, so I am still a little bit rusty, to be honest. Still kind of getting back into the swing of things here with just kind of going on routine photo shoots. So, but this was a good one. to kind of keep warming up, keep kind of getting the rust off. And the shot I got at the end with there were two fishermen. That was amazing, dude. That was crazy. I really didn't have a lot of time because I wanted to be respectful, and not just like I wasn't gonna stand in their way for however long and just kind of be a bother. So I wanted to get the shots off really quick. So I didn't really have a lot of time to mess with stuff, really perfect the shots. So I'll have to do that in post editing. But that was a nice little treat there right at the end. I love getting those types of shots, but you guys will see that in post. So, but that'll do it for this one, guys. I'm gonna get driving back home, get some dinner, and take a shower because I am muggy, I am sweaty, and yeah, a really good day today, man. It's just gorgeous out here. I love these landscapes, and coming out here in Coon Valley, it's just, yeah, you can't beat it, dude. You really can't. So thanks for sticking with me, guys. I do appreciate it, and I'll see you guys back at the crib for the photo review. What is up, friends? What's up, everybody? We're back in the crib here for the photo review of summer 2026 photo shoot, episode number 2. And this was on June 13th. We went out to Coon Valley area again, just to that creek down there. I had actually never been to that specific spot before, and yeah, I kind of mentioned in the field footage, I was a little bit hesitant, a little bit anxious about actually pulling off there and walking through the farmland. I didn't really know. I'd never been there before, so was a little bit anxious, a little bit hesitant to do that right off the bat, but it actually turned out to be a spectacular little photo shoot down there. I forget how much time we spent. I think it was just a couple hours. It was pretty much, I think the time frame was like around between like 3, 5, 6 o'clock, something like that. And then the sun just kind of set over the bluff line there. But we pretty much caught that spot, like I would say at the perfect time that we could for that day, given the conditions. There was a little bit of clouds in the sky, but early on in the shoot, there wasn't much sunlight coming through, but then later on into it, the sun really started to pop. And yeah, we got a ton of really good photos out of this one, guys. Lots of kind of those waterway shots with the creek, and then of the just the farm there out in the background. So we'll just hop right into it here, hop onto the screen and get going with this photo review. But yeah, overall, guys, it was a really, really good shoot. Got a ton of good photos out of this one. And I got a nice little surprise for you at the end here with the fly fisherman shot that kind of just happened there at the end. So no, I know there was no field footage or video for that, but that was a nice little surprise. And if I do look a little sweaty, it's because it is extremely stuffy in here in this studio. It is very hot outside and pretty hot in here. So that's probably why I look a little sweaty, but. Starting off here, just right at the beginning, yeah, you guys can kind of see we really did not have any sun coming through on these first initial shots here, but I kind of lined these up for some vertical shots with this bridge kind of poking through here. And you can kind of see this. I've always seen this bridge from the roadside. It's very visible from like the road as you're driving by this whole scene, but I never really knew what was down here, or like, I knew you could kind of that it was a DNR easement and that you could get in and fish, but yeah, I just never had done it before, so this was all kind of a new experience for me. There's tons of these little like easements down in Coon Valley for fly fishing and all that. Very, very popular spot, but just some pretty vertical shots here of the stream or of the creek, and then crossing the bridge. You guys can kind of see that sun popping a little bit more here as we go into the shoot, but just some landscape shots. I pretty much got this, well, I'll save it for the end, but this is crossing that bridge, so kind of see the farm there in the background. I do like kind of the sky reflection coming off this kind of clear water here. I think that looks pretty cool, but just some decent clouds in the sky as well. I was taking that into account, like, you know, what the sky was looking like during this shoot, trying to incorporate some of this cloud cover in there, because I don't know, personally, like when I'm dealing with kind of really sunny conditions, bright conditions like this, I do like having cloud cover in the sky. I think it just creates kind of more dynamic photos, and sometimes just like clear blue sky can kind of seem a little bit boring to me. So I like kind of incorporating some sort of cloud cover if I can. But yeah, moseying up the creek here, we basically just, throughout this whole hike, I basically just followed this creek line around. So really cool shots of this little, kind of a little waterfall going on here. You guys can see we got really nice focus on all these. Look at that, just like crystal clear. Oh, it looks very, very inviting just to jump in there. That would be a nice little fishing hole. You guys can see it was kind of just working with these angles. I'll zoom in one more time. Yeah, that just looks beautiful. I did have the I think I had. No, I didn't. I didn't have the tripod with me. But these could be like good angles for some long exposure shots to make this water look like, you know what I mean, like very smooth. Kind of creating that like you can do that effect a lot of times you see with doing kind of a longer exposure and kind of smoothing out the water. But I still think these shots look pretty cool, just the way they are. And yeah, the way I kind of do photo shoots, it's a lot of kind of running and gunning, just moving quick. But some other shots here, just of the creek and incorporating that farm in the background there. I thought this shot was actually pretty cool. This whole setting down here, kind of underneath this tree, this was really nice, just to kind of like chill down here. But good focus on the farm there in the back. You guys can see good sharpness, good clarity all the way down. The creek was pretty smoothed out in this area, so the water wasn't moving too fast, which I think created kind of a very smooth shot. And yeah, obviously the creek is the nice leading line into the photo. You know, it brings you around. And obviously these bluff lines look really cool there in the back. But this whole setting, man, it was just, I was saying in the field footage, I mean, it's just absolutely gorgeous down here. I was in awe. You know, I honestly, I did not expect all of this down here. You know, I didn't know what to expect, but I was happily surprised on all these just really, really gorgeous scenes. I mean, you really, when you're walking up on scenes like this, you really don't have to spend a lot of time like thinking about the shot, or like you know, spending a lot of time setting up the shot. It's kind of just like there for you. You know, you're kind of just then have to basically wait for a good time with the light, you know, watching the lights and everything. But same kind of shot that we just saw here, just basically up this bank a little bit more. You can see a little bit of the trail here on the right hand side, which I kind of thought was nice, but just a more elevated position, basically the same shot as the last. But again, just kind of focusing on this barn and the farmland in the background here. Really cool looking barns. See all this stuff down in Coon Valley. It's really cool. Oops. And then this shot I ended up editing. So I'll show you guys the shots that I have edited at the end here. This was just kind of a basic shot of the trail. And even this shot of the trail here, let this pop into focus, but I was mainly focusing on this light. So the sun was really starting to pop at this point, and I was picking up on this light kind of hitting this grass right in the foreground, and I thought that just looked really pretty. This probably doesn't want to focus, does it? Let's see if this comes into focus here. There we go. yeah, so you can kind of see the creek there, just past the trees. And yeah, that's sunlight hitting that grass. I just thought that looked pretty cool. Bluff line in the background, farm field. And this is very wide open. This is pretty much, I forget. This is pretty much as wide. Yeah, 17 millimeter on this shot. So just one up from the max wide. This shot I have edited up as well. I'll show you guys that at the end. I kind of made a nice reel out of this for Instagram. I thought that one was pretty cool. I took video with this shot. So this exact same shot just took 16:9 video. That was pretty awesome. But yeah, this creek, I just thought it was really pretty. It just makes this really smooth bend. Kind of just like meanders all the way up into the bluffs there. And this was the turning around point. I got a lot of shots off here down in this location, but they honestly didn't turn out as good as I thought they would. Just not like these shots don't really wow me as much, I guess. But still nice, still good shots throughout these sets here. The sun, so you guys can see, the sun was starting to fade here. Some more clouds coming in. But you can still see some highlights from the sun coming through and hitting the barn tops there. But yeah, these bluffs are starting to get in shadow there. So more clouds are rolling in, starting to lose a little bit of light. That is the thing about out here in this landscape. When it gets closer and closer to sunset, like the sun actually, it goes behind the bluffs. Probably like an hour and a half before sunset, an hour before sunset, something like that. So all of this whole area just gets enveloped in shadow, basically, until sunset. And then you get like the sunset colors coming through on the landscapes and stuff like that. But there is I would say like a dull period between like an hour and a half before sunset and sunset itself when you're out here, and you got all these bluff lines just kind of, you guys know what I'm trying to say. But I edited up this shot as well. I thought this landscape was just, just the raw, unedited shot of this, guys. It's just like crazy looking, dude. This is just absolutely nuts. I think this shot is just crazy. Just like the obviously the crystal smooth creek here makes this whole scene pop the most, just because you get the reflection of the sky going through. I want this to focus for you guys. I'm gonna let this load. Let it load. And this was the second to last shot. There we go. There, it pops into focus there. So we good sharpness all the way down to the farmland. A little bit sharper, obviously, on the on the creek bank here, but good quality all throughout the photo. And you guys can kind of see here, there's just basically a beam of sunlight that came through. There was a lot of cloud cover. I think I took like 15 or 20 shots right in this location, and the majority of them were in cloud cover. The majority of this whole landscape was in shadow, and in this photo, luckily, there was just this kind of one, you guys can see it, that one kind of beam of light that just kind of came through, hit the barn, and you guys can see this tree getting lit up. It goes all the way across, kind of on that creek bank on the bluff side here. So, yeah, I just think that lighting kind of made that even better. And then here's the kind of the finale, the little surprise here at the end. This was the fly fisherman shots that I got off. And honestly, guys, so far this summer, I've done like 5 photo shoots now, for you guys. So obviously more in the books coming, but even so, even with the 5 I've done, this is by far like my favorite shot. This is honestly this could be one of my favorite shots that I've like ever taken, to be quite honest. I just think this is so cool, dude. Like, I mean, yeah. I'm not even talking really much about the photo. You guys can just look at it. It's just crazy looking, dude. So basically, yeah, I was walking back. I saw these guys fishing, doing their fly fishing. I was over here taking this shot. So this shot you guys just saw, I was posted up like right here on the right hand side. And I saw these guys fly fishing, started moseying over. Said what's up to them. Just crossed the bridge, and I saw these guys basically walk down to this, like, it was just like the perfect angle. I was on the bridge when I needed to be. Just I had the camera out, and I just popped off these shots really quick. I don't even think they didn't even notice me taking the shots or anything like that, taking the photos. It was just super quick. Because obviously I didn't want to like disturb them or anything, but I think these last 3 here, you guys can see the difference between these last 3 and the beginning 2 right here. So you see here in the foreground, just like this bottom half of the photo, it's a little bit darker than this. So the sun popped just a little bit more, if you guys can notice that difference. So the grass looks a little bit lighter. The guys look, they're bright. They're a little bit brighter there in these shots. So these last 3, I need to figure out which one is going to be the one. But these last 3 are definitely it for sure. And just the way these guys are positioned, kind of in the same motion, like they're doing the same motion. They're both casting at the same time. It's just like, yeah. You guys can see like the what do you call it? The line, both their lines. So it's pretty. I mean, yeah, it's just so cool, dude. So cool. I did not have any sort of time to get video of this. I wasn't gonna mess around and sit here for like, more than 20 seconds taking these photos. I didn't want to bother these guys at all. So I don't have any video of this. I just wanted the photos, and I definitely came away with them. So that was for sure. Again, like this is probably one of my favorite photos that I've honestly ever taken before. So really, really cool, and just perfect landscape, perfect setting. So those were all the photos, guys, from that photo shoot. Really good photo shoot, man, overall. Let me show you guys real quick the final edits from what we have here. So this was the trail shot. Go into full screen if I can. There we go. There's the trail shot. Brought everything up just a little bit, Kind of a simple shot, but still pretty. And then this was the 16:9 that I put into a reel. Kind of same thing. Brought up the shadows on the bluff lines in the background here. So those really pop now. But yeah, nice and crisp. Nice and crisp. Very inviting water. You guys can see all the rocks even in there. Really cool. And let me try and, there we go. And then this was the landscape of the creek, and you guys can really see the difference here between this one and the original that we were just looking at. So really brought up the shadows here on the bluff line, because all these were basically in shadow. Now it might look a little bit overexposed with the whites on the barn tops and stuff. But in reality, it's really not that bright. When you're just looking at it kind of on the screen, it looks a little bit brighter than kind of the final, but yeah, I thought that one turned out really nice. And then I also, brought up the I brought up the highlights and kind of the shadows within this creek as well. So I basically just brightened everything up. Yeah, really nice shot there. And then I think that was, I think that was all the edits that I've got so far of that shoot. I still need to work through quite a bit more. Let me show you guys some other final edits that I've done. Or can I show you? No, I can't. It's coming up. Here's a little sneak preview, guys. Sneak preview of what's to come in episode 3, I believe. Little sneak preview here. Yeah. We've been doing some cool stuff, man. We've been doing some cool stuff. Real quick, guys, before we wrap it out, I'm going to show you guys the other images that just didn't make the cut here. 300 and took like 330 photos during this whole shoot. These were just the first shots that I was taking just right away. And you guys can see the whole landscape here. Nothing is getting lit up. So this is what I was talking about. Right in the beginning of the shoot, looked totally different than what we were getting at the end. There were no sunlight coming through whatsoever. So I was a little bit bummed out because I was like, if I don't get any sunlight coming through these shots, I'll still get good photos, but they're not going to be as good as they could be with some sun coming through. So I was very fortunate to actually get some sunlight. And I think during this time of the month, like this was middle of June, we were getting a lot of thunderstorms. It was a lot of these days around this photo shoot were like overcast and rainy. So I didn't really know what was going to happen, but it turned out to be a really good evening, or late afternoon, I should say. These shots, okay, I was going to bring this up. I should have spent more time on this shot specifically. This turned out better than I honestly thought it would. If I would have spent more time like thinking about the framing and just like the angle of this shot, I just basically whipped my camera out and took this real quick because I thought it looked cool. But I just think this single track trail with the creek on the side here and this big, I think this is a cottonwood. I think this shot could be a lot better if I spent some more time on it, but I just didn't. There was just a lot to look at out here, man. A lot to look at. So, but I think that's pretty much it, dude. You guys saw these. I think that was pretty much it, man. This was that kind of setting down here right by the creek. It was just really nice to just like, I sat under this tree just for, 10, 15 minutes in the shade, chilled out by the creek. That was really nice. Hopefully I'll include these other videos in the field footage as well that I took with the Lumix. So hopefully you guys have seen that already in the field footage. The nice full frame video. Yeah, those were all the photos for sure. Yep. Oh yeah, I did stop down here at the end, but saw these cows, but everything was in shadow. So this will be a spot that we can go back to next, and it'll be basically brand new. I've never taken really any photos down here in that other spot that we just kind of wrapped up at the end there. So, but that is all the photos, guys, and all the edits I have so far. So we'll hop off the screen and just wrap it up. I'll get out of this. I'll get out of this hot, stuffy studio. I usually put like the fan on while I'm in here, but when I'm recording, I don't want to have the fan just like buzzing. So you guys, I don't want to have you guys hear that in the background. But man, overall, this was a stellar photo shoot, dude. I honestly I couldn't be happier with how it went, man. I like I was just saying, kind of at the beginning, everything was in shadow. Didn't really know what to expect or how it was going to go, but it ended up being just a perfect kind of late afternoon. And even though there was even though there wasn't like a whole ton of or a whole lot of like really cool cloud cover, the clouds that did roll in, I think really added to the photos, so it wasn't just blue sky throughout like all of these. It just, yeah, it makes the photos, I think, just a little bit more interesting, a little bit more dynamic. But yeah, that'll do it for this one, guys. I appreciate y'all sticking with me. And yeah, hopefully you guys are surviving the summer heat and everything. It's crazy hot right now, so hopefully you guys are staying hydrated and surviving the heat out there and everything. But yeah, this shoot was awesome, dude. I definitely yeah, we have. Let's see, let me think. We have kind of more of this. To be honest, the creeks and like waterways have been a little bit of a theme throughout these photo shoots this summer, and I've got one more episode that's kind of like that I went right down by some creeks, but there is, like I just mentioned, there's tons of these other like DNR easements, not just this one down in this area. We've done other photo shoot episodes pretty much right in this area, like this general area. And yeah, there's tons of these easements that anybody can kind of just, go and hike into and go fishing or just hike around, take photos like I'm doing. So it's honestly, I just think it's super, we're super fortunate, I guess, to live in this region where, you can actually just, you're literally like walking through, it's basically protected land, but it's also, I think it's essentially the farmer's land, and the farmers, like, I'm pretty sure it's like it's their property, and the DNR basically like protects it or something. But I think it's awesome that we have this this natural resource that we can just like go enjoy. And yeah, if those easements weren't there, there's literally no way you'd be able to get to these types of spots without like crossing through someone's private property. So the fact that you can kind of just go and hike down there, walk around, is just awesome. So, but yeah, we'll definitely, I'm sure there'll be kind of more additional kind of episodes around this same kind of area. I definitely want to go down to those locations again, like I just mentioned there at the end. Check out some of those other areas right down by the creek. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So that is definitely coming, probably in the future at some point. So stay tuned for that, though, guys. And yeah, like I said, I have more episodes in the books. Just got to get them kind of finalized and out to you guys. But yeah, that'll do it for episode 2 here, guys. Hope everyone out there is enjoying their summer. And yeah, that's all I got for you. So I'm blanking. I'm blanking how I end. But yeah, thanks for sticking with me, guys. I do appreciate it. And I will see everyone in the next episode. Peace out.